This is Mike Mozart of JeepersMedia on YouTube, and I've got a secret.
Yesterday, we brought to you the details of the Stop Online Piracy Act, also known as Sopa.
The Sopa, the S-O-P-A, the Stop Online Piracy Act, and also Protect IP, which we should never forget about, because that little act, which if I recall correctly has the short form PIPA, and stands for Preventing Real Online Threats to Economic Creativity and Theft of Intellectual Property.
You know this Sopa law they're trying to pass, Stop Online Piracy? Well, guess what? The same people that are trying to get the law passed and have put up like $100 million in lobbying costs to get this law passed so they can control the internet are the same people that distributed the file sharing software.
Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, AOL, Yahoo, eBay, Mozilla, the EFF, and the ACLU are just a few of the groups that have all lined up against legislation.
That's right. They're the ones that actually profited from the distribution of the software and taught people how to use it and then turned around and sued people like you for billions of dollars. They did. I'm not kidding.
Which I might add is a fairly terrible acronym because it can read in a very bad way. I'd just like to take out a little bit there. Preventing real online threats to theft of intellectual property. Yeah, we're gonna God. America, please stop with the frickin' acronyms. Good God. It's like everything in America has to be marketable. Everything. It's buzzwords. It's frickin' acronyms all over the place. Even in politics. It's a joke. It's distilled down to sound bites and nonsense. Can we please act like grown-ups? This is lawmaking we're talking about, not a freaking text message conversation.
Just look up Joel Tenenbaum. They've sued him for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Poor college kid. They sue single moms for millions for downloading 24 songs. Hey, Google the name GetMeRated Thomas. Look at that. They sued and got $1.9 million judgment out of this single mom, and you are next with Sopa. They're gonna sue you when Sopa passes. They want to make even a little bit of copyright infringement a felony online. If you do like a little karaoke song, or you have your wedding's first dance, you have a copyrighted song, they want to make you a felon and put you in jail and sue you for hundreds of thousands of dollars. They've done it before to little innocent kids, and you think, oh, I'm not in the United States, I'm fine. No, they're passing this law so they can send in the troops to arrest you and shut down websites in your country too. No kidding. Hey, if you don't believe me, look at this article. British student faces extradition to US over copyright infringement. A 23-year-old British computer student faces possible extradition to the US for linking to copyrighted content on his website. He didn't even post copyrighted material. The student, Richard O'Dwyer, was accused of copyright infringement after setting up a website, TV Shack, which had links to thousands of movies and TV shows, but did not host them. He just linked to them. But our government under Obama sent in the U.S. Department of Immigration. They're insisting that the UK ship him to the United States so we can put him in prison for 5 years. And what he did is not illegal in the UK. But our government is insisting, and they may even storm England to get him, to bring him to justice here.
The House of Representatives' even worse version of the Protect IP Act. It's a bill the RIAA and the MPAA have been dreaming about for years. The most comprehensive anti-piracy legislation to be voted on by the House of Representatives. But, as I told you yesterday, there are a few little problems with this legislation, which goes even further than the Protect IP Act.
Anyway, so these two acts have potentially disastrous consequences for things that we enjoy doing. So that alone should be getting you a little bit riled. Now, to start with, before you say, oh, well, I'm not in America, so this doesn't affect me, yeah, it does. The problem is, a lot of the companies that would be affected by this legislation are in the States. And also, we're talking about a country that has a great deal of control over the internet. So that's something that you might want to consider to be somewhat dangerous.
Sopa, like Protect IP, would allow the Attorney General to create a blacklist of websites that they see as engaging in infringing activities, to be blocked by ISP providers, search engines, payment providers, and advertising networks, all without a court hearing or a trial. Now, it would also hold internet service providers liable for all sites deemed as infringers and criminalize the streaming of copyrighted material. So this bill was surprisingly, or not surprisingly, excuse me, was met with a very strong opposition from all sides, showing that some people in this world are still sane.
Now, allow me to give you a real world, this is not a speculative example, this is a real world example that happened just a few days back. So, Universal Music has been getting up in a tizzy over Mega Upload. Mega Upload, they brand as a piracy site. On the 29th of November, Mega Upload was unavailable across many countries, including the US, because of a DNS takedown request, and it was branded as a rogue site. The law enforcement authorities got involved in this. So that, if anything, is a bit of an impression of what's to come. However, it doesn't end there, because this is the thing about this bill. It's not just about taking down, quote, rogue sites. It has far more dangerous implications.
They're going to use this to take over the internet and shut down sites like YouTube and Twitter and all your favorites so they can control it, so you have to watch their lame-ass, worthless TV shows. But you know what? I've got the secret to stopping it, and you're going to help me do it.
But now it looks like the fragile coalition that the MPAA and RIAA built to support it is breaking apart at the seams, as people in Washington are finally starting to understand what the enforcement of this bill would really look like. In the last 24 hours, everybody from Michelle Bachmann and Darrell Issa to former Speaker Nancy Pelosi have injected themselves into the Sopa debate. Nancy Pelosi tweeted today, "Need to find a better solution at Sopa. Don't break the internet." But in perhaps the largest blow to the legislation's chances of passing, its chief sponsor and champion expressed doubts yesterday about the bill. Wire's reporting that House Judiciary Committee Chairman Representative Lamar Smith, a Republican from Texas, expressed concern with allowing the DOJ to get orders to force ISPs to prevent users from visiting blacklisted sites.
Now don't disappoint me, you gotta do your part. Because once the lawmakers find out about this, I think they're gonna stop that law. But if you're listening to those hearings, you know, it's all about online piracy, like downloading movies and TV shows and stuff like that. But who do you think, but come here. Who do you think really caused all that piracy, huh? Was it all these kids? No. They needed the tools to do it. Who distributed those tools? Guess who? CBS Television? The CNET division of CBS had almost the exclusive distribution of things like LimeWire, Kazaa, Morpheus, BitTorrent, Azurius, Vooz. CNET, Download.com, and ZDNet are divisions of CBS Interactive, which is owned by CBS Viacom. CNET distributed these little widgets that you would click on those sites. CNET would host the software on their own servers after they've tested it for effectiveness, after their editors approved all the copy and all the pictures, after they tested it thoroughly to make sure it worked perfectly. Then they'd allow it on their site, and they'd give people this widget, because the more downloads that appear on CNET's charts, because at one time CNET was a very popular site, and they wanted to be on those charts, so people would say, ooh, the most popular download of the day, I want to be there. Right now you're saying, hey, a lot of other sites had that software besides CNET. Oh yeah, they did. It was co-branded with CNET. That's right, they made deals where they would distribute their content on sites like AOL, MSNBC, ESPN, Disney'sGo.com. Hey, now it's time to wake up. These Sopa supporters, most of them distributed the file sharing software and taught people how to use it. But before I go on, I have to explain something. File sharing software is perfectly legal. However, under the MGM versus Grokster US Supreme Court ruling, they held that one who distributes a device, you know, the file sharing software, with the object of promoting its use to infringe copyright, as shown by clear expression or other affirmative steps taken to foster infringement, is liable for the resulting acts of infringement by third parties. This is regardless of the device's non-infringing uses. In other words, you can distribute it, but you can't encourage anyone to use it to infringe copyright. And do you know what? CNET and CBS did just that thousands of times.
So, in support of Mega Upload, a bunch of artists, including P. Diddy, Snoop Dogg, Kanye West, produced a song in support of Mega Upload in order to try and raise awareness as to what was going on. YouTube was forced to take that song down when they received a takedown notice from Universal Media Group claiming it violated their copyrights. Now the scary thing is, it didn't. It didn't violate their copyrights in any way, shape or form. They did not own any of the content in that video, and yet they blocked it anyway.
Hey you Sopa supporting music rights groups, listen up to this. Now here's one of those ESPN Disney CNET co-branded pages. And what do we see here? One of the MP3 Insider file sharing SmackDown tests, something they commonly did for quite a few years. Why did they use Britney Spears and Beatles and known artists? Disney, you put it on your ESPN site for the better part of a decade? Encouraging people to download and copy copyrighted materials? Why did you do it, Disney? Why? It doesn't make any sense. But why would Disney even have their own branded piracy software branded for Go.com, one of their portals. That's right, the Walt Disney Company that's plowing millions into getting Sopa passed has a ghost of file sharing past. Their own branded file sharing service to get free MP3s branded the Go Network. And they use Scour as one of their search engines, and what do you know? They were suing Scour at the exact same freaking time.